So let's go a little bit further on that, and you can address this from not only on the healthcare and education side, but also the business side. How is local community? How is the business community meeting these folks where they are? How is Findlay adapting to this increased population? And we're not talking about hundreds of thousands. I recognize that, but still, you've got folks who want to work, are able to work, would be good additions, and you also have the interview process. Find folks who wouldn't be a good way. But how is the business community and how is the community overall adapting to this change?
Yeah, so about a year into noticing that we were having an increase in immigrants, when we first started having an increase, they were primarily here kind of working through a staffing agency. They were getting plugged into our businesses, and the businesses were really kind of assisting. We didn't need to be too engaged. As more folks kind of heard, oh, there's opportunities. Hey, I have family connections in there. That population has grown. And so right now, we have probably about 1,000 to 1,500 kind of in the Findlay Hancock County community. And then there are most likely more kind of living in surrounding areas and coming and working here. So our daily population, it's hard to tell kind of exactly what that is. There definitely has been. So what I did is stepped in and set up a task force that was some local businesses, nonprofit entities, government entities, and some of my department heads saying, we don't want to create, and our community already works in what we call a coalition format. So we have coalitions focused on mental health. We have substance abuse committee. We have a transportation, housing, food security, workforce, these main kind of components. And all of the nonprofits and entities that work to address that or support that in our community work through that one coalition to make sure they're communicating. So what I said is, let's set up a task force that brings all those different entities and individuals to the table and say, how do we just make tweaks to our existing systems to adapt to the needs of this population that are, they're going to have the same challenges that our lower income individuals are going to have, with the added barrier of cultural differences and the language barrier. So I don't want to create new systems. I don't want it to be a big drain on resources. How do we just adapt and assimilate to become as efficient as possible with our existing systems and meeting their needs? And so
Yeah,
that is what
gotcha.
we have done from a service side. And I think it has really helped because we've been able to push out resources and communicate. And again, these folks aren't using a ton of our like social service resources. But on the flip side is the cultural uncertainty from the Findlay community. We have not had a large immigrant population in the past. And so there's a lot of just fear of the unknown and, how did these folks come here? And unfortunately, some of the national rhetoric is, that they're here for nefarious reasons. And, that has not been our experience. We certainly have had minor interactions with law enforcement, but it's primarily been related to traffic. So we're really trying to educate the public on what we are seeing locally, how we're adapting, and how we got here. And I think we're going to have to continue to reiterate that message, that they're not being brought here by government, that they're not here committing a lot of crimes, and helping folks understand who they are and how we can get to know each other. So we've also been working, our newspaper's been doing a great job to kind of share some of the immigrant stories and backgrounds and help folks understand, some of these folks have been in the United States for years and have now just come to Findlay because of opportunity. So I think overall we're handling it well, but it definitely has been a contentious topic, and there's a lot of just mistrust. Social media and the media are not always the friend of government officials to be able to get facts and information out there. So we just keep kind of reiterating the same message and hope that folks understand how we got here, where we're at, and where we're hoping to be.